Little boy from Boro, Bklyn, who vanished on Monday. Team coverage starting with 1010 Win senior correspondent Stan Brooks at One Police Plaza.
A missed turn apparently cost Leiby Kletzky his life. The 8-year-old boy was supposed to meet his mother on a corner 7 blocks from his day camp, but instead Leiby got lost and ultimately asked the stranger, the suspect, 35-year-old Leiby Kletzky.
That's right. You're hearing it here on 1010 Win. Young boy, Leiby, murdered in Brooklyn. We're on location right now.
Extremely grateful for the support that we received from the community, and we extend our deepest condolences to the Kletzky family.
Kelly calls this killing a mother's worst nightmare. Stan Brooks, 1010 Wins at police headquarters.
Our Carol Diore has been checking into the background of the suspect. She joins us now live. Carol?
Leiby Aronson worked at a hardware store on McDonald Avenue, and his boss said he must have snapped. He's worked there about 12 years. He says he was a little disorganized. Sometimes he'd arrive late for work. He wasn't the neatest of workers, but he said that he was very quiet and he kept to himself, and he said there was really nothing that would indicate that he could allegedly do such a violent thing. Now, Leiby Aronson lives around the block from the hardware store on East 2nd Street, and that's where there's a lot of police activity. The police finally obtained the search warrant they were waiting for, and that gives them the right to look into Leiby Aron's car, and they will comb it for evidence. The child is believed was in that car with him. The police will also go to Aron's apartment. The 35-year-old lives on the top floor of his parents' house. Commissioner Kelly said when they arrived at 2 o'clock this morning, they asked him, "Where is the child?" And that's when he pointed to the refrigerator. Carol Diore, 1010 Wins live in the Kensington section of Brooklyn.
Winds News Time 304, the Parsippany Troy Hill, New Jersey.
Once again, it's your host, Brian David Delaney Starr from the Star Quest Channel. Here, Borough Park, Brooklyn, the Kensington section. And of course, we're going as close as we can to the location where the murderer of Leiby Levinson lives. Okay, we're going to try to see if we can get you some footage and get in close to see what's going on. Okay, this is the corner, East 2nd Street and Cortellia Road. Of course, the kid lived right over this way. A lot of police activity. Here it is right now. You see down the street there. The house, they say the car is also outside. Criminal act, abomination. Here, East 2nd Street. Once again, Brian David Delaney Starr. Close to location here. Borough Park, Brooklyn. Talking about the case of a young 8-year-old boy who was murdered on his way home from a daycare center. A lot needs to be addressed in the Jewish community here. And as a fellow Jew, believe me, I see it all the time. The motive behind this particular act, who knows what the motive was to cause this young man who worked at a hardware store not too far from here to snap and to murder, to brutally murder this child. Something happened. It's a lot deeper than we think, and it probably goes back to the parents. Why would an 8-year-old boy allow someone that he didn't know to give him a ride home? Maybe he did know his murderer. But at the same time, he allowed him to take him to his home. And this man, who works every day, he's worked 12 years at a hardware store, all of a sudden he snaps. And he snaps and murders. They found the young boy's feet in the freezer, body parts all over the apartment. Here, in Brooklyn, New York. Now you tell me what's going on, because, you know, I live in this neighborhood. Many times the parents are very disrespectful. The children are very disrespectful, and evidently something must have pissed off this guy to want to murder this child, and it must have pissed him off pretty bad. So parents, let's take a look at what's really going on. We all know what Torah says about teaching our children the laws and the statutes. These things can be avoided, but it starts in the home with the parents. I see it all the time. Rabbis walking across the streets on the cell phones. People screaming and yelling, blowing their horns at each other in rage. The Jewish nation time for a checkup from the neck up. The examples that we are setting are not only going to our kids, they're going to our kids, and they're going out into our communities. And you know what? You wonder why people are saying, those are the Jews, as opposed to the ones that used to say, those are the Jews, the ones who kissed the book. The examples we set each and every day somehow will come to light. This is a horrible crime, a horrendous crime. And it happened right here. You guys have today's paper?
It's not even, they don't even have. I was just looking for the same thing, sir.
Yeah. What's this? This is it right here. I just want to show you once again. Here's a picture. Here's a picture.